Okay, let's give God glory for our word summit real quick. Now, before I tell you about the word summit, I got to tell you something that God allowed me to stumble across that's super important that I think all of y'all should um, find time to look at on YouTube. Um, Ella Taylor, did you send it to me yet? Okay, yeah, I sent it to her. There is there is a video that's an hour and a half long. I'm telling you in advance, it's an hour and a half long. All right. I was talking to my daughter in Atlanta, and I was in Atlanta, and she said she was 15 minutes in, and it was already blessing her. And then and later on, I talked to her again, and she said she was only had watched it 1 hour, but it was still good. She'd go back. I have now watched it 3 times. So why did you watch it 3 times? Because this man's testimony of what happened to him when he met Jesus is very gripping. And he was a pastor. The part that was amazing, and someone said, give it to me straight. He could prophesy and be very accurate, seeing the spirit, all this. People were healed under his ministry, miracles. He's from Uganda, and God revealed a principality to him. Long story short, when he put the God revealed the witch doctor that controlled the whole area where he was with the principality. When they put that witch doctor on the altar, 7 days later, the person came and gave their life to Christ. Give God all those signs and wonders. But then all of a sudden, God's telling him, you got to repent. And he kept getting messages, you got to repent. You got to repent. He said, well, why is God telling me to repent? I'm not sinning. I don't understand why he's telling me to repent. And every message, you got to repent. You got to repent. You got to repent. And after a while, you know, he said he got to the point. I'm going to show you what he said he did. You're going to see in the video, because I'm actually sending you the link. He said he got to the point he wanted the word from God. Watch this, Chelsea. He put the Bible up like this. Now, where he was speaking was a bunch of white people. And when he put it like this, all the white people start laughing because he said he wanted the word so bad. He did this, and anyone know what's going to happen? He already know. That's why they laughed. He said, and he did like this. Well, he did a little better. He said, wherever it opened, he knew that was a word from God. And when it opened to the book of Jeremiah, the same book God was using mainly to rebuke him, and it was telling him to still repent. He said when he read it, he threw the Bible. Come and say, tell it as it is. He was like, if I get one more word of repent, he threw the Bible. But then he began to weep before God. He said, God. I'm giving you an overview because there's more detail if you watch it. He was like, I don't know what's going on. How do I repent? I don't know what I did. What's going on? The part that got me is when God finally told him where he had to repent. He said to him, you fornicate. He said, he didn't say it out loud. He says, never, never. He said, where did he get that from? He said, all he did was think it in his heart. He said, Jesus stopped talking. Oh, by the way, he knew it was Jesus because he said he felt it come to his room, into the room where he was. He couldn't move. He could not move. His tongue locked and his eyes were closed, but the light was so bright that he tried to open his eyes. And he said he couldn't open his eyes, but he heard his voice. And he said, he called him 3 times and began to tell him, I'm gonna tell you because I watched it 3 times. He said, before I created the world, I knew you and I wanted to use you in the end times. But if I was to come today, you will be left and not going back with me. He says, this is why you must repent. As much as I wanted to use them, he was saying, yes, okay? He says, you need to repent. But when Jesus said to him, you fornicate, he says, oh no, oh no. In his heart. And he said, Jesus stopped talking. He says, no corrupt word comes out of my mouth. And then he says, since you don't know your heart, I will show you your heart. And what did he do that for him? He said, next thing he know, he was sitting in the cab. And he's like, he was right there. It was actually, and he saw himself looking at this woman undressing her. And then he said, wait a minute, I'm not done. You got to watch this video. Then he said, Lord, I'm giving too much on this PSA. He said, the next thing that was amazing, he says, well, Lord, forgive me for that sinful act. God said, sinful act. He says, you live in sin. He said, it wasn't just one act. You are still in sin. Go watch the video. Clap your hands for that, all right? And the other part, I'm going to give this away too, because I watched it 3 times, which I'm not going to be pushing a whole lot because it's in the Bible. He says to him, you don't live looking for me. You live looking for something else. He says, every day you're not looking for me. You're looking for something else. I will only come for those who's looking for me. My God. It is a very powerful video. If you want to tighten up your work with God, those that's watching this by YouTube, I'm putting the link in the description box, like I did yesterday for Baltimore. I'm gonna do it for Brooklyn today. Make sure you watch this. All I know is his first name. His first name is John. Now, I'm gonna say this. I didn't say this in Baltimore. When I watched it for the 3rd time today, God told me to agree with him in prayer when he prayed at the end. Well, the video I was watching, this link that I gave her, doesn't have the prayer. So watch this. Actually, I had to go find where he prayed, and I found another lady who had it up, and she included the prayer, and it was a very powerful prayer. So I'm going to send the second part of the video. All right. So Elder Taylor, I believe, have most of your numbers. All right. I think she have your mom number. You tell your mom to send it to you. And Ashley, get it from. Okay, y'all say that. All right. All right. Make sure y'all check that out. All right. And like the guy gonna say to you in the video, do some dishes, wash some clothes, put it on audio while you're moving around, and before you know it, you don't watch the whole video. Okay? All right? Like Chelsea, while you're driving between Brooklyn and Queens, let me stop. Just let it play. All right? Now, the last part of this PSA, Word Summit, I'm gonna put it in there in the description box. Someone say the triple summer blessing. Look at this. Triple summer blessing, the 3 books, all right, are available for you. We're working hard on it. Later on, I want to show you one that Av designed that was really, really good. Copy his design. Wait till y'all see it. It's really nice. All right. For some of y'all saw it Monday, but he put a creative touch on it, and he let me do mine, and then he tried to improve on it to show that he could put the youthful flavor on it. I guess that's what you say. And he said, do you want your book to look nice? And it's a good thing I'm not stubborn and bullheaded, all right? That someone say two heads are better than one. Come on, say we need as much start on it as we can. So go to the Word Summit. If you missed it, get the ebook, get the links, and with that, all right, thewordsummit.com. You'll see more information there. Also, that link, it will be in the description box. And with that, I stop the PSA.